friends, it's Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're back in Sulani and we are building a tiny island home. And I'm going to go on and put the picture that inspired this build up on the screen where you guys can kind of see what I was going for as I'm building. We're going to start out building the lot, and as you can tell we've placed a couple trees and now we're just building this massive pool that we are going to try to turn into a more natural looking body of water a little bit later in the video. But first we're going to work on the house. And right now we're building the deck area, and I went on and built it on the second floor so that it would have a kind of more floating appearance, if that makes sense. We are going to put an object underneath it. It's just not one of the in-game foundation types. It's just going to be some debug items and the tool mod. And I just wanted it to have a very minimalist look underneath it. I didn't want it to be overcrowded with the stilts. And so yeah, we're going to use this object from the debug menu and the tool mod to kind of force it underneath the floor, and then also use the tool mod to duplicate the item. And that's pretty much the foundation of this house. It's very, very simple. And as you can tell, I've actually placed a lot of tiles already before we've even got to the house, so this isn't actually classified as a tiny house in the game because it uses too many tiles, but the actual house itself is going to be 3x3 tiles, so it's very, very small. And right now we're also using that same object, I think, to build this kind of column underneath the house area, and I wanted it to have a kind of crooked look just like the inspiration photo did, but this particular item messed with the functionality of the house, so I did have to change that out to a different debug item. And now we're placing this fence around the top part of the house, and I actually am going to change that into some debug items too, just because they ended up matching a lot better than kind of mix and matching with the in-game stuff. So that fence is going to change. And as you can tell, I'm really struggling to decide on a color for this build. I don't know why that was a struggle, but for this build it was a huge struggle to pick a color. And so that's going to change a few more times also before this is over. But yeah, now we're just working on this little fence area. Like I said, it's debug items, and I don't know, I just think it matched everything a lot better just because it's kind of a similar color and everything. So I decided to go with that. And you can kind of see the outline of the house in this little section. It, like I said, is 3x3 tiles. It's very, very small. And when I first started building, I actually just didn't think about it being that small. I didn't actually decide to build a house that small because I've never built anything that small, and I think I probably wouldn't have tried. But I had already built a lot of this house before I realized it was going to be that much of a challenge, and so I decided to go on and give it a go. But honestly, I don't feel like this house is a very playable house just because it is so small. And I couldn't actually get a bathroom in this house, which makes it a little bit complicated if you're actually playing as a sim, because that's kind of a necessity. But I did include a public bathroom from the debug menu. The only thing about that is that it's kind of far away just because of how big this lot is. And also I think every time your sims use the public restroom, they get a negative moodlet. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think every time mine have ever used a public restroom, that's what happens. So yeah, that's not entirely ideal. I had thought about kind of placing a bathroom maybe underground somewhere on this lot, but I couldn't think of a way that it wouldn't kind of look out of place. So I decided just to go with the public restroom. And I actually thought about too, just because of different reasons, just not uploading this house to the gallery at all, just because we don't have a bathroom. And I'm also going to go on and forget to include a refrigerator in this build also, which makes it, a little bit less functional for actual gameplay. So I thought about not uploading this to the gallery, but for the first time in a very long time, I actually had a good gallery photo with this build. And so I think I am going to upload it because it's been a while since I had a really good gallery photo. And now we're just using this other debug item to make a fence around this other area. It's a little bit different than the fence we use on the second floor, which I kind of like that it changes it up a little bit. But yeah, this is basically, this house is made out of so many debug items. I think this is probably the most that I've ever used the debug menu, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's just because the house is so small, but that is what we're working on now, is the house, and as you can tell, we've changed the color again. I think this is the final color that we go with. I really liked the darker tone of wood. But inside the house, we are going to use a lot of items from the Tiny Living pack, and just to kind of make it a little bit more versatile space. I probably should have just left the single bed because this house really isn't big enough for more than one sim, but as you can tell, I'm going to swap to the double Murphy bed with a couch. I liked the fact that it added the couch, and I really wanted to include a desk in this build for some reason, and I just could not figure out how to make it work without the door not working, so I did not include a desk, but I did really want to. And yeah, like basically this house is just very simple. As you can tell, it's very small and there's not much to it at all. We're going to add in some more decorations. Like I said, we used a lot of Tiny Living in this because by the time I got to it and realized how small it was, I just didn't know what to do with it at all. But hopefully you guys like it. Like I said, it's not the most realistic for actual gameplay just because you would have to cook outside and then there's no way to store your food and stuff like that. You could always add in a refrigerator if you wanted to, but I don't know. It's a lot smaller than I realized it was going to be. But now we're just adding some outside decorations. And this is from the inspiration photo. I wanted to have these kind of like white flowers lining the walkway. And then I've changed the pool color, but I do think I change it back. I don't know what I'll do before I actually upload it because I think I like the darker colors better. At first I was a little bit unsure just because this build is so close to the ocean and I thought it looked a little bit weird, but I don't know. I may change it back before I actually upload it to the gallery. And now we're adding these lanterns to the trees, which I thought was really cute. That was a part of the inspiration photo also, and I thought it just looked really nice. So they're not actually lanterns, they're just ceiling lights, but I thought they looked like they could kind of be a tree lantern, so that is what that is. And I think there's only a couple of them, there's not a whole lot of them, but yeah, now basically we are going to decorate this pool. Like I said, with debug items, it's pretty simple, but hopefully you guys like it. If you feel like leaving a comment, let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you guys, but pretty much that is the end of this build. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say, and I can't think of anything. But as you can tell, I cut out a lot of the pool decorating footage just because it was really repetitive. But it's all debug items for the most part. And yeah, basically this is it. This is our little tiny island treehouse. I keep wanting to call it a treehouse. It's not a treehouse, but tiny island home. And I hope you guys enjoy it. It's been a little while since I had a full video, but hopefully it won't be too long before we talk again. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you always for watching, commenting, anything. I appreciate it so much. And I hope you guys are all doing so well, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Bye.